15 minutes ago, I can barely croak out a note, and every time I go up to sing a high note, my voice breaks and shatters into a million pieces. Warming up is everything, but I was running late and I had to try something new. Now I'm teaching this amazing singer and my voice just works, but I had to hack my normal routine in order to do it. Let's go! A few years ago, I'm working incredibly hard at my business. Every day, I'm writing blogs and shooting videos for other music sites. The problem is that in addition to doing all of this extra work on my business, I'm still teaching voice 8 hours a day. That means that I spend the entire morning writing and then turn right around and start teaching singing. FYI, working and singing this much is a fantastic way to burn yourself out, so I totally recommend it. But even though I'm working hard at my business, I still have to give the best possible lessons to my students. They deserve it. Now, the only way I'm able to juggle all of this stuff and stay sane is to have a really strict routine and warm up my body and voice. Warming up is an absolutely essential part of being a better singer. But there's a lot more to warming up than just doing a bunch of crazy vocal exercises. So back in those days, I wake up early, shower, don't have any coffee because it's hard on my voice, eat a really strict diet, which means no gluten, no dairy, no refined sugars. Then I write for 4 to 5 hours. Then I warm up my voice at the piano for 30 minutes, and then I start teaching for 8 hours. I need to warm up my voice thoroughly every day or else I'm going to hurt myself. So the stakes are pretty high. There's just no way around it. If you warm up, your voice will work better. If you don't, you will always feel like your voice is a little unpredictable. So this particular day, I spend the entire morning writing some of my best tips and tricks on how to sing better. The article is due today, and I still have hours of work left to do. Sure enough, I look at the clock, and I've lost track of the time, and I am running late, which means that I won't have the 30 minutes that I normally have at the piano to warm up my voice. That's a problem because I have to make it through 8 hours of teaching. Sure, I can warm up a little bit during that first lesson, but if I don't start from a good place, then 5 or 6 hours in, I'm gonna start to hurt myself. And that just makes tomorrow's lessons even harder. I see this all the time with singers live. They use the first couple of songs of the gig to kind of warm up their voice, but then an hour later, they are absolutely struggling. It's kind of like a ship that goes just a little bit off course. At first, it's not a big deal, but if you go a little bit off course, even if it's just a little bit, after a while, you are way off the beaten path. So I finally finished the article, and I realize I forgot to shower. I start getting really panicked because I feel like I have to choose between looking professional and sounding my best. So I can either look like a bum and sound good, or I can look professional and sound like crap. That's when it hits me. I have a recording of my last lesson with my vocal coach somewhere in my Google Drive on my phone. So I quickly download the lesson and turn on the shower. Now, most of the people that are watching this probably feel like they need like an hour alone in a soundproof room, or that their kids or their partner needs to leave the house in order to get in a vocal lesson. I don't have that option today. So I decide to hack my normal warm-up routine and combine the two, the shower and the vocal warm-up. I start playing the recording on my phone and sit it on the shelf next to the shower. I step in and the hot steam kind of gets into my nostrils and my nose starts to clear everything out in my voice. My voice is opening up as I do my 1.5 octave lip trills, my gees, my nays, Now, a lot of singers know that they need to drink a lot of water, but it actually takes about 30 minutes for the water that you drink now to actually get circulated all the way through your body and reach your vocal cords. But in the shower, the steam from the hot water actually makes instant contact with your vocal cords and rehydrates them. In the shower, I'm listening carefully to all of the notes as I sing through the scales. But today, I'm mostly off pitch. Because I've been working all morning and I haven't even been speaking to anybody, my voice is super cold. And every time I go up to a high note, my voice keeps breaking into a million pieces. Today especially, I'm super flat, which means that I almost have to imagine myself on top of the high notes in order to sing the right pitch. About 10 minutes in, I start to feel something click in my voice, and my voice starts to open up and relax a bit. My voice is still crackly, and I really have no idea how it's actually going to hold up in front of my first student. When I'm done in the shower, I step out and change into my clothes. And sure enough, within like 2 minutes of me getting out, my student knocks at the door. At this point, I'm incredibly nervous. Are they going to know that I was showering? Will they think I wasn't prepared? And of course, will my voice even work? After a couple of minutes, we get down to business, and I play the first exercise that I want them to sing. But before they sing anything, I have to demonstrate the exercise. Now, when you demonstrate a scale or even a phrase of a song, it's incredibly important for me to sing it exactly right. After all, if I demonstrate it wrong or sing it flat, they may actually imitate that and go off course. Or they may just lose confidence in me as a voice teacher, which is fair as well. So the pressure is on for me to demonstrate this very first scale perfectly. Now's the time to see whether my shower warm-up actually works. Unfortunately, the very first scale is an 1.5 octave arpeggio that lands on an F4 as its top note. An F4 is actually one of the most difficult notes for a male to sing. It's a difficult note because that note's right in between kind of the bottom and the top part of the voice. It's actually in kind of a little bit of a dead zone where there's really not much resonance that helps a singer feel like they're doing it right. A little scared, I go for it and I demonstrate the scale. 15 minutes ago, I could barely croak out a note, and every time I went up to a high note, my voice shattered into a million pieces. But as I approach the F4 note, I can feel my voice lock in, and I hit the pitch beautifully. I teach the rest of the day, and honestly, they are some of the best lessons I'd ever taught up to that point. So many singers make excuses about how they don't have the time to warm up. The real shortcut to warming up is to find a way to wrap it into the routine that you do every day. That means finding time and places whenever you can. Because even warming up for 15 minutes a day is better than a 2-hour warm-up on one day a week. And it's amazing how even 15 minutes can take your voice from being completely cold to hitting notes beautifully. Now I want to hear from you. How do you like to warm up your voice? Is there any way that you can add in a warm-up as a part of your daily routine when you're in the shower, when you're making breakfast, when you're doing the dishes? Share your thoughts. Leave a comment below.